Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyāsadeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Text number 19. Navai jano jatu katanjana vrajet.
Navai jano jatu katanjana vrajet.
Mukunda sevyanya vadanga sansritim.
Mukunda sevanya vadanga samsritim.
Smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punaha.
Smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punar.
Vihatum ichen narasagraho janaha.
Vihatum ichen narasagraho janaha.
My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Navai jano jatu kathanchana avrajet. Avrajet means coming back. But anyavat, not like others. Devotees also come back sometimes. Why come back? Because in the immature stage, some devotees may deviate. In the immature stage, due to some weakness, he is attracted towards material affairs. So after some service, he may be dragged out. So he also has to come back. And karmis also come back. Then how do you differentiate? Both are here. Both go to college. Both get the degree, commerce, arts, science. And both of them come out. And both of them get jobs. Maybe in the same IT line. But how do you differentiate? Suddenly that person turns. Just like we have turned. See, the one sitting here, they have not come like karmis. We were devotees in previous lifetimes, deviated due to weakness. So, we are brought here, may look identical, but difference is there. Why? Rasagraha. We have once tasted once Krishna's service. We cannot give that up. Once we have tasted, we cannot give it up. So if you see one young brahmachari, he also knows two-wheeler. And a regular college-going boy, he also knows two-wheeler. Both of them go to a flower shop. Then both of them bargain. Give me for 20 rupees or give me for 18 rupees. Identical, bargain. Then both of them take the flowers, quickly come back. The result is, the karmi boy, college boy, gives that flower to his girlfriend. Whereas this brahmachari gives to Radharani. That's the differences. But otherwise their actions are absolutely identical. So a karmi, when comes here, he suffers. But devotee also sometimes suffers. We have seen many times. Why devotee is suffering? Does God really exist? This, that. No, that suffering, there's a difference. Karmi suffers due to his karmic reaction. Devotee suffers because of Krishna's direct chastisement. Why you are going wrong route? Why you have left me and taken a long route? So you let me punish you. But then, when Karmi suffers, he is like an orphan. When Krishna's devotee suffers, he is not orphan. Just like father is taking care of, only from a distance, just to teach that boy a lesson. Why you have gone wrong route. So in this way, when the devotee, due to some attraction for material opulence, he just goes away from this route, and then he is put into a lot of problem by God himself. So that what happens ultimately, his own friends, relatives, everybody rejects him. Everybody rejects him. Then he again turn to Krishna with more intensity. So that is why he says, they are coming, both of them are coming, but not like Anyavat. Why? Mukunda Sevi. One who has served Krishna, he will not suffer like that. Although apparently suffering, yes. Why is that? Angri Upaguhanam. Angri means lotus feet. Upaguhanam, embracing. Once he has embraced the lotus feet of Krishna, Vihatum na ichet. He doesn't want to give up. The taste is so nice. We have not gone into it fully. Simply hearing Bhagavatam itself is so nice, then if you jump into it, how nice it will be. Isn't it? That's what he says. Vihatum na ichet rasagraha. He has already got the taste. He will not give it up. So, Naraji tells Vyāsadeva, and try to understand these things. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro.
Yato jagatstana nirodha sambhava.
Yato jagasthana nirodha sambhava.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavans tathapite.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavans tathapite.
Pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam.
Prayesha matram bhavata pradarshitam.
The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Hare Krishna. So Naraji is explaining, Naraji explaining to Vyāsadeva, because Vyāsadeva himself is Vishnu's incarnation. So he knows, you know all this. I have only given you a rough idea, a synopsis. What is that? Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. That is, everything is Krishna. Why? Because everything emanates from Krishna. Anything that emanates from Krishna cannot be different from Krishna. For example, a tree has branches, twigs, leaves. The branches, twigs and leaves are also tree, because they are all emanation from the tree. But branches, twigs and leaves alone are not tree. They are not called tree. Collectively they are called tree. Similarly, hands, legs, these are all part of body, so they are body. But if the hand is cut and lying down somewhere, it is not considered as hand, because it cannot function. So as long as it is attached to the body, it is recognized as body, because it is part of the living body. Similarly, he says here that this world also is part of emanation from Krishna, therefore not different from Krishna. Actually, what is the position? Krishna has got three categories of energies. Two main categories, third one is a kind of subdivision. Two main categories is para prakriti and apara prakriti. Gita, Krishna says, what is kam vayu mana so and so buddhi ahankara iti me bhinna prakriti ashtada. This is apara, this is inferior. Material energy is inferior. Whereas superior energy, that is spiritual energy. Spiritual energy is superior, material energy is inferior. And the living beings also, the Atma, they are also energies. It is the energy of Krishna, Atma. We are thinking foolishly, I am man, woman, person. No,
We are all energies only. Only one energetic, that is Krishna. So this energy is called marginal energy. Spiritual energy, material energy, and marginal energy. Spiritual energy manifests spiritual world. Material energy creates this material cosmos. And marginal energy are the living entities. Clear, no? So these are energies are non-different from energetic. Because they are all emanation from the energetic. That means energy is subordinate to the energetic. Energy is under control of energetic. Just like electrical engineer, under his control lies the electrical energy. Electricity cannot be independent of energy, engineer. So similarly, we are all energies. Living beings are called marginal potency or energy because they can be attracted to both material energy and spiritual energy. That is the problem. Margin mane tatastha, tat. Tat means word bank. So that bank of the river or the shore of the sea is water or land? Neither. That's why you call border. Otherwise, why you call border or bank or shore? If it is water, you will straight away call it sea. If it is only land, you will call it land. That means when at high tide, that border goes underwater. When it recedes, then you can see the land portion of the border. Similarly, living beings, sometimes attracted by this material energy, so become here. And with proper understanding, if you turn, then you come under spiritual energy and go back to Godhead. So when we are in this material realm, when we are in other species of life, we have no facility. Although we have ability, no facility to understand this and take a turn. In human form of life, we are endowed with extraordinary intelligence and the highly evolved consciousness that you can understand that you have the facility and you can take a turn. But unfortunately, because the pressure by the Maya, we are unable to move ourselves. That is why preachers come. That's why Vyāsadeva writes all this. That means, like in Western countries, if you mix one exit, you go almost 120 miles. Now they have made more arrangements. Earlier, once we went from Pittsburgh by road, we had arranged a class in Gita Nagari. We missed one exit somewhere. We landed up at Philadelphia. So when we knew, I told the driver, I was the navigator, so I said that we have missed it, you take a U-turn. He said, no Maharaj, we have almost come 80 miles. To take a U-turn is really difficult. When I don't feel like driving, all right, we'll go to Philadelphia. Similarly, we have all come long route. Now you understand, but you cannot take a U-turn. You have come very long. To take a U-turn and go back, it's really hellish. So therefore it is said here, you have to take a U-turn, there is no other go. Otherwise you will go thousands of miles in the wrong direction. You may have satisfaction, I am going very fast, but fast where? In the wrong direction. I am so and so, I am one of the, I am the third billionaire in the world. Are correct? Third billionaire. What is the use? Going very fast in the wrong direction. So millionaire, billionaire, highly educated, CEO, DO, GM, PM, all useless. Simply forget and you take a U-turn. So here, he says this creation by Krishna is non-different from him. That means this material world is also non-different from Krishna. Then the question comes, why not we enjoy? Why not we enjoy this material world? No, or it is technically non-different from Krishna. Actually it is not Krishna. So how will you understand this? For example, one singer, when you attend his concert personally, if he asks you, whom are you hearing? Anup Jalota. Oh, very nice. Then the same singer's CD, when you hear in your car, I ask him, whom are you listening? Anup Jalota. But Anup Jalota is not inside your car, it's only disc. But his voice, that disc, because of his voice, non-different from the person himself. Although the disc is separated from Anup Jalota, but it is Anup Jalota. Similarly, this cosmos separated from Krishna, but it is Krishna. But it is not Krishna. It is easy to understand. That's what he is trying to say here. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan iva. It is Bhagavan only. At the same time, itaraha, not Bhagavan. You see, very clear. Pradesha matram bhavata pradeshitam. You actually know all this because in expansion of Vishnu himself, I just gave you a hint. Tvam atman atmanam avehya moghadrik.
Atmanam avehya moghadrik.
Parasya bhumsa paramatmanah kalam.
Parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam.
Ajam prajatam jagata shivayata.
Ajam prajatam jagata shivayata.
Mahanubhavabhyudayodhi ganyatam.
Mahanubhava buddhayo adhiganyatam.
Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul, personality of Godhead, because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. Hare Krishna.
You have written all the other literature nicely, but it won't help anybody. Describe Krishna's pastimes more vividly. That's what the gopis, when they sang eulogistically, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhi riditam kalmashapaham. Tapta jivanam. Everybody is literally burning from within. Nobody is happy. They are only putting on a facade as if they are happy. Nobody is happy. They are tapta jivanam. For that tapta jivanam, if they want to see some happiness here, then tava kathamritam. Only explaining your Bhagavat Katha can give some peace of mind. Otherwise, the whole world is getting ruined, totally finished. Everybody is in enjoying attempt. Everybody is in attempt to enjoy. But how you can enjoy? This attempt, what is it like? When the branch is with the tree, the branch will flourish with leaves and flowers. If the branch is cut and lying on the wayside, if you water that branch, will any result come? Our attempting to enjoy life, being disconnected from Krishna, is just like watering the cut branch of a tree. Therefore, no branch can flourish. Rich branch, poor branch. Oxford graduate branch, municipality school branch. All branches are same. There won't be any difference. Why? Cut from the tree. If it is attached to the tree, it will flourish. Why? The water put on the root of the tree is sufficient for the branch to flourish. Therefore, when we are in connection with God, through service, we can be happy. It does not matter where you are. Anywhere you can be happy. So therefore he says, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhi riditam. Kavi means knower of everything. Kavi means not poet. Kavi means sarvagnya, who knows everything. Iditam, praised. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhi riditam kalmasha apaham. If you gradually, on a daily basis, if you hear Bhagavatam, all your sinful reaction will gradually vanish. That's why we sing the kirtan, no? Tomara nikate gele pap dure jaye. The moment you go closer to your pure devotee of Krishna, gradually you will become free from all sins. Amano dayalo Prabhu keva kothai pai. Where can you get such a personality? You see? So, tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapakam. Bhuvi grinanti ye. Those who recite Bhagavatam, Bhuvi on the planet Earth, Bhurida Janaha. They are actually person with tremendous charitable disposition. They are the munificent persons. Not one who gives $100 million for aid or $200 million to South Africa, North Africa. No. They are all small donors. The real donor is who speaks Katha, your Katha. Why? That will pacify all the burning hearts. So therefore, he says, you have been born, although Ajam, you are unborn, you have no birth, because Vyāsadeva is Vishnu himself. But Jagataha Shivaya, for the welfare of the whole humankind, you have come here. Therefore, Adhiganyatam, please delineate, describe. O Mahanubhava, O great soul. Idam hi pumsastapasashrutasya va.
Idam hi pumsastapasashrutasya va.
Svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo.
Svishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo.
Avichutortha kavibhir nirupito.
Avichutortha kavibhir nirupito.
Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam.
Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam.
Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. Hare Krishna.
See, one person is tapasa. He is very much interested in austerities and penances. So it sits in the corner of Himalayas and does that. Another person is Shruta. He is interested in Vedic studies, scholar. Another one Ishta, conducting sacrifice. Another one Sukta, offering prayers. Another one intelligent, Buddhi, intelligence. He wants to engage in intelligence. Another Datta Yoho, Datta means charity. But all these are useless if they are not dedicated to Krishna. That is why many sages of the past, anyone we may take, some Chavana Rishi, Vishwamitra Rishi, so they were all great souls, Durvasa Rishi, great souls, all capable. But none of them bothered to engage their activity by dedicating to the Lord. That's why they all deviated, fall down, or sort of remain stagnant. Therefore, he says, Kavibhi nirupito. It is conclusively proved. You must develop taste for hearing Harikatha or speaking Harikatha. Other than that, there is no use. That's why he said, my dear Vyāsadeva, I was harsh in my criticism. Because I take the liberty, because you are my disciple. I wanted to drive home the point that you wrote voluminous literature, all useless. You have wasted your time. You should have simply written Bhagavatam only. Why? That alone will work. Nothing else will work. Tomorrow even all the Vedas, Upanishad, Vedanta, they all disappear. Does not matter. Bhagavatam alone, if it survives, one can go back to God with the help of this. Therefore, you should have highlighted only devotional service of the Lord. Not karma, jnana, yoga, all you have wasted your time. Now, after saying all this in detail, this is the duty of the spiritual master. He keeps on assessing and reassessing the disciple. How much it has sunk in him. If it has not, then he will devise other means as well. Now here, Naraji saw Vyāsadeva could grasp about 90%. Another 10% has to be given to get him fully convinced. In such cases, what they do, they give their own life as example. So Naradji wants final Brahmastra throws at him. What is that? By explaining his own lifetime. So he says, what he was in previous life is narrating his story now. Aham puratita bhave bhavam mune.
Aham puratita bhave bhavam mune.
Dasyastu kasyāśca vedavādina.
Dasyastu kasyāśca vedavādina.
Nirupito balaka eva yogina.
Nirupito balaka eva yogina.
Sushrushane pravrishi nirvivikshatam.
Sushrushane pravrishi nirvivikshatam.
O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maidservant engaged in the service of Brahmanas who were following the principles of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of the rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. Hare Krishna.
So he starts how it works. Says Puratite, in my previous life, Kasyaschana dasyaha, of some maidservant, I was the son, only son. Father detail not given, only mother detail. And in that village, during the rainy season, normally Krishna conscious persons, when they go for preaching, they go all over every day. But during the rainy season, they used to stay put in one particular village. Because it will be, rains are disturbing always. So this Vedavadi, this Vedantist, Prabhupada sweetly calls these Brahmanas as Bhakti Vedantas. These Bhakti Vedantas used to settle down in one village. And Balaka Eva, although I was a very small boy, I was engaged in their service. Normally, now the Indian attitude is, even in India, the seniors come. I said, why don't you bring your sons and daughters? No, Swamiji is not from this stage. But why you are coming? Yeah, because we have seen life. You know, as a big authority, seen life. Kuchina, she has not been kicked enough. Otherwise, she will not go back from the temple home. We have seen enough, so let them enjoy. So enjoyment should not bring to the temple. No, well, like that. Then I didn't insist much. Then once I told her, you see, you have to always bring the children. Send the children to me. You may not come, doesn't matter. She said, yeah, why? Either you prepare your children or you prepare yourself. She said, ये थोड़ा व्याख्या कर सकते हैं? Can you explain? What is preparing myself and preparing children? No, if you send the children to me, that is preparing children. So they will listen to me, Harikatha. Gradually they will become good children. So when they grow up, even if they not earning much, whatever they get, they will look after you very well. Yes. Now if you don't prepare them, then you should prepare yourself. What does that mean, Swamiji? That means if you don't send them to the temple, they will grow gross materialist. They will have no affection for you. And when they grow up, they will be money oriented. And they will ill-treat you. So you should prepare yourself for that now. Either you prepare them by sending to me, or you prepare. One of the preparations you have to do, no other go. You see? But this mother was intelligent. Small boy, she said, no, be in their service. 5, 6 Bhakti Vedanta Swamijis are here, serve them well. So he said, I was engaged. Te maya peta kila chapalarbhake.
Te maya pita kila chapale rabhake.
Dante dhrita क्रीडनके नुवर्तिनी
Ante dhrita kridanake nuvartini.
चक्रु कृपां यद्यपि तुल्य दर्शना
Kripam yadyapi tulya darshana.
शुश्रूषमाणे मुनयोल्पभाषिणी
Shushamane munayo alpavashini.
Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of the Vedanta blessed me with their costless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self controlled and had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. Hare Krishna.
See, 5-year-old boy. Now, these are all qualifications for service. If you want to engage in service of Krishna and his devotees, we should not be foolish. We have to develop certain characteristics, qualification. Now, this is only a 5-year-old boy, so he's saying on his own the truth. What is that? Apeta akhila chapala. Chapalata means restlessness of a child. I did not have that. See, a child will not sit 1 minute in one place. He'll go here. So I was very steady. Akhila chapala apeta. Then danta. Danta means I was controlled. You will listen, you will know from the next slokas. I was controlled. I controlled myself. And adhrita kridanaka. I never played with toys. And anuvartini. I was always obedient to what mother said. And yadyapi tulya darshanaha, although these Bhakti Vedantas, they don't distinguish good and bad men, because they see only the soul. Any soul coming to them for service, they bless. Yet, they gave me full blessings. Why? Because sushrushamane, I was engaged in this service. And one more quality required is alpa bhashini. You have to speak only to the extent required, not wah, 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 all the time. Even at home, what you have to do, all the time I hear noise. No, you have to simply have gravity, especially while cooking. Near the kitchen table, nobody loudly speak or loudly laugh, because that saliva falls on that. So it's an offense committed. So I was even suggesting in Bombay, they should wear, Jains put that mouth covering, one should wear, so that it doesn't come out. And if you want to talk, you should come from the table, come here and talk. That we have to ensure. So these are all important aspects. Alpa bhashini. First of all, there is no need to talk. What is there to talk here? One fellow asked me, Maun Vrat ka mane kya hai? Maun Vrat means not stop talking. That singers do because they have to develop throat. Actually, Maun Vrat means not talking nonsense. That's called Maun Vrat. Now I am in Maun Vrat. Why? I keep on speaking Bhagavatam, not nonsense. So normally you should keep quiet while cooking. So alpa bhashini, these are the qualities. You have to be sense controlled. You have to only answer precisely and concisely to the question asked, not more than that. All this if you develop, then you are a first class servant. Then Uchishtalepān anumodito dvijai
Uchishtalepān anumodito dvijai
Sakritsma bhunje tadapasta kilbishah
Kritsma bhunje tadapasta kilbishah
Evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasah
Evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasah
Tadharma evatma ruchi prajayate
Dharma eva ruchi prajayate.
Once only, by their permission, I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus, being engaged, I became purified in heart, and at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalists became attractive to me. Hare Krishna.
So this is the first stage. This is again 3 shloka package for God realization. It starts with this shloka. Uchishta lepan. Utchishta means after taking, shishta means balance. So when the Bhakti Vedantas, pure devotees you feed, whatever balance remains, Uchishta lepan. He says, Sakrit bunjesma. I took only once. Little bit what is left in the leaf. But how? Anumodita, having been permitted by them. Anumodita dvijahi. They permitted. He said, Maharaj, can I take Uchishta from your leaf? All right, take it. Why? Because they saw this boy, 5-year-old, very patiently serving us. 1 hour, 1.5 hours. They eat nicely. It's very difficult. 5-year-old boy, the big one's eating nicely. How can he stand politely, patiently and serve? It's very difficult. Therefore, they said, we can take. Once in our house also, some Vaishnavas came. We were all small boys. And my mother knew what we were all. So locked us in a room. And she was serving the Vaishnavas. They were eating nicely. So I made my brother bow down and I stood on him and saw through the window. I was giving commentary. Bhaiya, he's asking for more sabji, more paramanna. Mummy is giving and maybe nothing will be left for us. But Naraji, the same age, standing quietly and seeing the meeting. So therefore they said, oh yes, you can take. Anumodita dvijaihi. Sakrit bunjesma. Only once I ate, first day. Now what is the result of that? Tad apasta kilbishaha. In once taking it, all my sins of previous lifetime, everything finished. In once taking that Uchishta. That shows that the Bhakti Vedantas are very powerful, very pure. And evam pravrittasya, every day I was serving and every day I was taking. In that, what is the result? Vishuddha chetasaha. Heart became completely purified. Heart became completely purified. And again, what is the result of that purification of heart? Tad dharma. Their quality came in me. What is their quality? Service to Krishna. See, how nice. एक झटके में सब हो गया. This is the first look. First you take Uchishta only once. In that, all sinful reactions vanish. Then take continuously, heart becomes purified. And then the result of that is, you develop the same propensity to serve Krishna exactly like those who had eaten the food. If you extrapolate this understanding by giving an extension to a gross material example, I used to go by suburban train to school and then subsequently to work. So when it halts at a particular station, one young man, my colleague, used to cross all that railway tracks and get into the train. I said, why you do like this? So, nahi, ye jo samne hotel hai na, ek cup chai mar ke aata hu, 1 cup tea. I said, no, your house is also here. Yeah, ghar mein bhi pita hu. After that, I take here. Every day I take once. Now, what is the result of that? You see, you may be a Brahmana boy, but if you daily take in a hotel, the hotel cooks are not Brahmanas. They are low class. Because they drink, they smoke, they eat meat. And food cooked by them or tea prepared by them you take daily, their quality comes into you. That is why in the Vaishnavas the habit is, make everything at home, offer to the Lord and give to the children. No hotel going. If you say this, what has got diet restriction to do with the spiritual advancement, Swamiji? Ek aadmi puchega. What is that? That quality comes into you gradually. And you come to their level. That guy who crosses the track, he exactly was that subsequently. He slowly started to taking, drinking, class 1 Brahmana boy. Finished. Same thing, opposite result. Here, you take that from the pure devotee, you become purified. See how nice. Then the next stage is, Tatran Krishna Katha Pragayatam.
Tatran Shrinamaham Krishna Katha Pragayatam
Anugrahena Shrinavam Manohara
Anugrahena Shravam Manohara
Ta Shraddhaya Menupadam Vishrinvataha
Shraddhayame Anupadam Vishnuvataha
Priyashravasyangamama Bhavat Ruchihi
Priyashvayas Angamama Bhavat Ruchihi.
O Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. Hare Krishna.
The second stage. So first thing is hotel going must be stopped. All pizza, pasta make at home. But it is when you are very young, it's very attractive. Hotel going really makes it attractive. So we were also, when my brother said, once I will show you, first time when we went to Bombay, I will show you a nice hotel. I was 12, 13. Immediately I was very enthusiastic. So what dress was stitched and kept for Diwali, I wore that. Hotel means nicely you should dress and go. So attractive hotel going. So that we have to stop. Now the next thing is, when you are engaged in the service of these Bhakti Vedantas, then Anu Aham, Ahamana daily, day. Anu Aham means day after day. Anu Aham Krishna Katha. We used to hear from them, Naraji tells Vyāsadeva, I used to hear from them, Krishna Katha, Manohara, very attractive pastimes. Now he doesn't say Ashrinavam, I heard and I understood. No. He says Pragayatam Anugrahena, by the mercy of the speakers. We may have the ears, we may have the interest, we may even sit, but you really cannot hear if they don't bestow mercy. Your mind will go elsewhere. And they bestow mercy upon only those souls who are in their service. As I said yesterday, service is the basis. Because we all have tremendous ego. That ego has to be slashed. To slash that ego, you have to engage in service. Very simple. When you engage in service, you become gradually humble. In a humble state of mind, all these teachings directly go and create a tremendous impact. Indelible imprint on your heart. That's what will bring a radical transformation in you. Therefore, service is required. And that too not hypocritically. Nishkapata seva. Free from duplicity. So he says, Pragayatam Anugrahena, by their mercy, Ashrunavam, I heard. Then, Ta Shraddhaya Anupadam Vishrinvataha. That hearing also should be with full faith, Shraddha, in the speaker and in the Shastras and in the God. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakka, Chittete, Kuriya, Aikka. These three things you should get embedded in your heart. Arna Koriho Mone Asha. Don't entertain any other desire. The moment you entertain some other desire, all this hearing is useless. Just like in Bombay monsoon, one day I was watching from my balcony. Heavy rain. We couldn't go, nobody could go out of house. So we were staying balcony, reading something. So one buffalo was standing. 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, it didn't move. Continuous rain pouring on that buffalo. It's the same thing. You may continuously hear Bhagavatam simply on buffalo. So we have to, Shraddhaya, we have to get into service. Vishrinvataha, I was hearing with great faith. And the result of that is Priyashravasi. Priyashrava, pleasant reputation. Krishna has got pleasant reputation. Anga, oh my dear Vyāsadeva. In him, Mama Abhavat Ruchi, I developed the taste for hearing Krishna Katha, for serving Vaishnavas, for hearing Bhagavatam, for faith, taste in Prasadam, taste in Vigraha Seva, taste in cleansing the temple, everything, taste automatically in everything. This comes, this is the second stage. the third and final stage. Tasmin tada labdha ruche mahamate.
Tasmin tada labdha rucher mahamate.
Priya shravasya skhalita matirmama.
Yashvasya skalita matirmama.
Yayaham etat sadhasat swamayaya.
Aheta sadasat swamayaya.
Pashye mayi brahmani kalpitam pare.
Pashye mayi brahmani kalpitam pare.
O great sage, as soon as I got a taste of the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching, and as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings, for both the Lord and I are transcendental. Hare Krishna.
So the third and final stage is Tasmin tada labdha ruche. In that hearing Harikatha, when I got ruchi, taste, that taste gave up, it catapulted him to a further exalted position. What is that position is called? That position is called Askhalita Mati, undeviated mind. First Smarana means haphazard reflection. Then Dharana, trying to focus the mind in a specific way, prescribed way. Then Dhyana, fixing the mind on a particular object. Then Dhruvanusmriti, means constant contemplation. Then finally Samadhi, total absorption. So he reached that stage. Due to constant hearing and serving Vaishnavas, I reached a stage where my mind did not deviate at all. Askhalita matirmama. At that point only I could realize, he says, all of us will realize only when we reach that point. What is that realization? Yaya, by which aham. This world, whole cosmos has been superimposed on Vishnu. Actually Vishnu is the fact. It is not the fact. Similarly, these bodies, subtle and gross, have been imposed on me. Atma is the fact. This is not the fact. This realization came. My Gurudev used to tell Gramavasis, villages, Tumi kake dekcho, whom are you seeing? I see this, that, Kashmir, Simla. No, you try to see Vishnu in this, not Kashmir, Simla. And daily what is your upkeep? Bhalo kore khai, 3 times I eat. No, try to see Atma, not the body. Don't try to see the body, try to see Atma. Don't try to see the world, see Vishnu. When you go for a painting exhibition, Jahangir Art Gallery, beautiful paintings, you may see one particular paint catches your attention. Then what do? You go closer to it. For what? To know if the painter's name is written. So the painting is not meant for your enjoying the painting. It should arouse the curiosity to know about the painter. Similarly, the whole creation, so beautiful, not for you to enjoy, to draw your attention towards the Creator. Such a beautiful creation, who is that Creator? No, that is not coming to our head. We try to enjoy the creation. So when I was explaining, some smart guy told me, no, I enjoy paint, I don't go closer. We just smiled, that's all. Because he is such a level, any explanation will not go in. It is common sense. Anything created looks beautiful. Mind will automatically raise a query. Who is that Creator? So, yaya aham etad, both me and God, I can see that this material world is superimposed on him, this body is superimposed on me, the real Atma. So the real substance is Atma and Paramatma. If you are attending anything else here, you are simply wasting your time. Simply wasting your time. That's why he says, Pashe Mai Brahmani Kalpitam Pare. Kalpitam. It's an imaginary superimposition, not factual. Kalpitam Pare. That means he has realized God. These three shlokas. Uchishta Lepan, Tatranvaham, and Tasmin Tada. One package. You start from here, stay put on this, and realize this. Clear? Next we move. Ittam sharat pravrishikávrtu hare
Sharat pravikashvartu hare
Vishnvato menu savam yashomalam
Vrishanvato me anusavam yashomalam
Sankityamanam munibhir mahatmabhih
Kirtyamanam munibir mahatmabhir
Bhakti pravrittatmarajastamopah
Bhakti pravrittatma rajastamopaha.
Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great-souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. Hare Krishna.
When we take birth, basically Rajoguna and Tamoguna, passion and ignorance are predominant. It can't be removed just like that. All of us are born with that. So if you want to come out of that and be situated on the Sattvic platform, Sattva Guna, mode of goodness, which is the springboard conducive for you to jump into spirituality. This is the only route. There is no other way. So therefore he says, Ittam Vishrinvato Anusama means every day, 3 times. Just like we eat 3 times, we have to hear this 3 times. Amalam Yashaha, pure reputation of Krishna. Sankirtyamanam, being glorified by Mahatma Bhihi, those great souls. You just can't hear from anybody and get the same reaction, effect. You have to hear from someone who is very pure. The purer the chanter, the vibrator, the purer the vibration, greater the impact. So therefore he says, Munivi Mahatma Bhihi. What is the result? Bhakti Pravritta. The devotion arose in my heart. And what is that devotion? Atma Rajaha Tamaha Apaha, which removes Rajaha and Tamaha. Tamoha. Tasyaiva menu raktasya
Tasyaiva me anuraktasya
Prasritasya hataina saha
Prasitasya hataina saha
Shraddadhanasya balasya
Danasya balasya
Dantasya anucharasya cha
Dantasya anucharasya cha.
I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Hare Krishna.
See, the first qualification is, I was very much attached to those sages. Attachment is required. We have attachment for all wrong objects, wrong persons and wrong places. There was another place, it's nicely explained. You can also chant after me. Prasangamajaram pasham Atmanah kavayo vidu Sayeva sadhu shukrito
Saeva sadhu sukrito
Mokshadvara papavritam
Mokshadvara apavritam.
Ajaram prasangam means strong sense of attachment is the root cause for entanglement in this material world. What is the cause of entanglement? Strong sense of attachment. Ajaram prasangam, pasham, bandhanam, atmanah of the soul, kavayaha viduhu, learned scholars say. So, what is the solution? You may come out saying detachment. No, because we have no detachment in our nature. we only get attached to everything we see. We have no detachment. Just like if you pay millions of dollars to scientists and tell them, churn this Pacific Ocean. If you need million more, I'll give you. Give me quarter kg of sugar by churning. Oh, no, sir. You may give me 10 trillion. Only salt can come out of ocean, not sugar. Similarly, we have only been trained to be attached. So then here is suggested, what you have in plenty, make good use of that. The same sense of attachment, you turn towards the devotees of God. Sadhushu kruto. Then what happens? Mokshadvaram apavratam. Door for liberation opens. It is simply changing the object of attachment. Gradually we have to train. It is nobody's fault. It is the fault of this leatherback consciousness. One who is very much in leatherback consciousness cannot suddenly jump to Krishna consciousness. So if people refuse Krishna consciousness, we don't look down upon them. We pity them. We try to help them out, help come out of that. So here he says, I was very much attached to the sages. Same attachment. Even in Gita, Maya sakta manapartha yoga yunjan madashraya samshayam samagram mam yatha jnasyasi tatshrunu. He said, you have got to Mai asakta, you become attached to me. Then how to know me in full, I will explain to you. Not that you will be doing every nonsense and still say, I am meditating every week, so and so. What is that meditation? You have to come out of all nonsense and become attached to God if you want to understand. And you cannot understand by your individual efforts, independent efforts. Yameva yeshaha varnate. He will select. And to him he reveals. That's why it's very difficult to develop faith in God. Because any Tom, Dick and Harry cannot verify by empirical approach. It's not possible. And instead of admitting our inability to see God, we deny His existence. It's as simple as that. Therefore he says, Me anurakta, I was very much attached. Prashrita, I was very humble. Hata yena saha, I became free from sins. Shraddhadanasya, I had tremendous faith. Dantasya, I was controlled. Anucharasya, I was obedient. And to me, what did they do? Next sloka. Jnanam guhyatamam yatta.
Jnanam guhyatamam yatta.
Sakshat bhagavadoditam.
Sakshat bhagavadoditam.
Anvavochan gamishyantaha.
Anvavochan gamishyantaha.
Kripayadina vatsala.
Kripayadina vatsala.
As they were leaving, those Bhakti Vedantas who are very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in that most confidential subject which is instructed by the personality of Godhead Himself. Hare Krishna.
See, Guhyatamam Jnanam. While going, 4 months over, rain stopped, they now want to move on preaching. So while moving, they gave me Jnanam, knowledge. What Jnanam? Guhyatama. Guhya, confidential. Guhyatara, more confidential. Guhyatama, most confidential. Although I was only 5 years. So age is not the criterion. The quality is the criterion. What quality you possess. Jnanam Guhyatamam. And what is that Guhyatamam Jnanam? Not that you manufacture, no. Joto mot toto pat. Now many people say, as many opinions, so many methods to reach God. All this nonsense going on. These own concocted views. No, Sakshat Bhagavatam. What Krishna directly spoke to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra in Gita, that Jnanam, Guhyatama, most confidential. There are also 3 levels of confidential knowledge. Krishna gave all the 3 to Arjuna. First he says, Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. First jnanam was Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. na shochati na kankshati. That is realization of Brahman. That is confidential. Why confidential? Normally we realize we are body. That is open. What is secret? You are Atma. So that is the first. And then Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam hriddeshi arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani maya. This is Guhyatara. What is that? Regarding Paramatma, localized in the hearts of all living entities. This is Guhyatara. Guhya is Brahman, Brahmajnanam. Guhyatara is Paramatma, four-handed form of Vishnu in the hearts of all. And then finally he says, Shrinu Guhyatamam Paramam Bhuyaha Shrunumeva Vachaha. That is personality of Godhead. Manmana Bhava, fix your mind on me. Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam Namaskaru, bow down to me. This is the highest. That he says, Jnanam Guhyatamam, Sakshat Bhagavatoditam. Yenaivaham Bhagavato
Yenaivaham Bhagavato
Vasudevasya Vedasaha
Vasudevasya Vedasaha
Mayanubhavam avidam
Mayanubhavam avidam
Yena gachanti tatpadam
Yena gachanti tatpadam.
By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So what is that confidential knowledge? These are all transitory, therefore false. This material world is not false. It is false in a sense it is temporary. Anything temporary is false. It is not that it is non-existing. Like impersonalists say, Adi Shankaracharya, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda. They say this illusion, you only see, it doesn't exist. No, it exists. It is not, he is talking about non-existence. He says, because of its transitory nature, it is false. I is fact. I, that is fact. Which is one? Atma. But I am this body is not fact. Aham is fact, mama is not fact. Anything mama, anything mine here, including my body, is not a fact. Because if I die today, I'll get another body. But the same I will be traveling. I'll get many bodies. I've got many bodies. So therefore, he says, by this knowledge, Bhagavataha, Vedasaha, Maya Anubhavam Idam. This is completely my creation. That I understood. By understanding that, Gachanti Tatpadam. You go back to spiritual world. Yetat sansuchitam Brahman
Etat samsutitam Brahman
Tapatraya chikitsitam
Tapatraya chikitsitam
Yadishvare Bhagavati
Yadishvare Bhagavati
Karma Brahmani Bhavitam
Karma Brahmani Bhavitam.
O Brahmana, Vyāsadeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So he gives him a semi-conclusion here that in all your literatures you have highlighted karma, karma karo, karma karo. That is what the biggest mistake you have done. Yesterday we discussed that. It was an abominable job done by Vyāsadeva. He has highlighted karma. Now here he says, Etat sansuchitam, samyak sujitam. I have clearly indicated to you, E Brahman, O Brahmana, tapatraya chikitsa. Chikitsa, treatment, remedy, cure. For tapatraya, three kinds of miseries. We all suffer. One is adhyatmika, means bodily disease, mental agony. Then Adi Daivika, natural calamities, cyclone, earthquake, etc. Third, Adi Bhautika, pains inflicted on us by other living entities. These three, everyone will suffer, no matter how highly he is placed. So we are attending to small problems, you see. By educating ourselves, we want to remove ignorance. Actually, we are fools. We don't understand. By educating, we are becoming greater fools. Ignorance is being reinforced by educating. Why? Because this education is roti kapada makan oriented education. That means it reinforces in you the idea that you are the body. But we foolishly think that by educating, see, literacy, you see everywhere, say, we have achieved 30% literacy. What is literacy? All of them are the same foolish platform, literate and illiterate. The real treatment, tikitsa, for these, because these three they cannot escape. Yad Ishware Bhagavati, unto Lord, karma, activity which we perform, bhavitam, dedication. In other words, Arjuna was ignorantly refusing to fight the battle. Krishna said, no, fight you have to, even if I don't insist, because by very nature you will fight, you are Kshatriya. You may not fight here. On the way back you will fight with the auto rickshaw driver. Fight you will. You cannot stop fighting, that is your nature. But fight on my behalf. Fight for my pleasure. Fight for fulfilling my plans. I have come with the blueprint. And you are the fighter. I seek your help. Nārada is ready to do. If I tell him throw veena, take bow, he will take it immediately. But no, that is not his field. You are also MBBS, you are a gynecologist, he is ophthalmologist. So for a particular line, I need your assistance. Come, fight. And what is that fighting? You will dedicate it to me. So therefore he says, that is the only chikitsa for our material disease which we are suffering from. Apparently we do not even know we are suffering. That is the height of ignorance. If you say somebody tells me, Swamiji, I understand, I am really foolish. Some marks I will give him. Because many don't know that they are fool. On the contrary, imagine they are intelligent. That is a very chronic disease. Here, he said that karma brahmani bhavitam, you dedicate everything, you will become free from everything. You simply start dancing, that's all. Then the question arises in Vyasadeva's mind. Again, Narada detects that. What is that? Question comes. All right, any action, after all action, it will have, according to Newton's law, opposite reaction. Then how do you say that work offered to Krishna, you will not react? Next sloka he answers that. Amayo yascha bhutanam jayate yena suvrata tadeva hyamayam dravyam napunati chikitsitam.
O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing? Hare Krishna.
O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by the very same thing? This is the question. Amayo yascha bhutanam. Meaning, a disease caused by a particular thing. What is it? When you are very young, when you are very tired, after a long walk, when you are given masala milk, one glass is not sufficient. You simply gulp down 3-4 glasses. And that results in loose motion. And what is the remedy for that? Curd, yogurt, mixed with pepper, etc. is given to you. That will stop the motion. And what is yogurt? Milk product only. The disease caused by milk is stopped by what? A byproduct of milk only, but therapeutically applied. That's what Nārada says. Karma has caused a problem, your conditioned existence. The same karma, if you apply to Krishna, that will liberate you. Evam nrinam kriya yoga sarve sansriti hetavaha Tayevatma vinashaya
एवात्म विनाशाय
kalpante kalpita pare.
पन्ते कल्पिता परे.
Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Hare Krishna.
Which I told you just now. Yadatra kriyate karma
यत्र क्रियते कर्म
bhagavat paritoshanam
भगवत् परितोषणम्
jnanam yattadadhinam hi
ज्ञानं यत्तद् अधीनं हि
bhakti yoga samanvitam.
भक्तियोग समन्वितम्.
Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Hare Krishna.
Ha. That knowledge is called Sambandha Jnana. Through service, when you start serving Krishna, even though mechanically, does not matter. But basic faith in Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. I have faith in Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. And start serving. It may not really, you may not relish in the initial stage. That is possible. That is because of offenses committed in thousands of lifetimes. So by some sheer luck this lifetime, somehow we got in contact with Krishna consciousness. This itself is a great fortune. So the next thing is implement. First come in contact, then hear, then ask questions, understand. After understanding, start implementing. So when implementing stage comes, everybody backs down. It's very difficult. We know that. Nārada also knows that. But as I said yesterday, everything is difficult here in this world. But have we not done all those things? Have we not gone through all those things? This is also difficult. You have to go through this also. But the profit is tremendous. The only thing we have to know is that at the time of going, nobody is going to go with you. That you have to be convinced. If you foolishly think, this one will come with you when I go, this one will come with, nobody will come with you. You have to go alone. You know, when the flight takes off, only up to certain height, the control tower will operate. Once it is in the mid-sky, quite a distance passed, that pilot, that aircraft, passenger, all left to themselves. Even when that flight is in problem, there may be another flight going and observing. He also cannot help. Once you are in the mid-air, specific distance crossed, all alone. Same thing. Therefore, when we read all this, nicely it should be understood. It should not be compared with what he will think, what she will think, what my folks at home will think. No, folks, they are useless folks. They will only enjoy at your expense. If you send a ticket, they will come and go, nicely a holiday with you. That's all. But you ask them to buy a ticket along with you to go. No, they cannot buy the ticket. It's not possible. So therefore, yadatra kriyate karma bhagavat paritoshanam. Perform those activities which can satisfy God. And what is jnanam? Tad adhinam. Adhinam, concomitant or dependent on that. Kurvana yatra karmani
Kurvana yatra karmani
Bhagavat shikshaya sakrit
Bhagavat sikshaya sakrit
Grinanti gunanamani
Grinanti gunanamani
Krishnasya anusmaranti cha
Krishnasyanumaranti cha.
While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers Him, His names and His qualities. Hare Krishna.
Yes. The idea is we have to remember Krishna all the time. So how do you do that? When you perform duties for him. Isn't it? How do you remember your child? Exactly 3:30, 2:30, you remember, oh, my son will come back, so I'll cook for him. That's all. Then I have to get the feeding bottle ready, 8 o'clock. So all the time you remember the child because you are engaged in his service. So if you want to remember Krishna, that is the success in our life. Krishna says in Gita, Antakale, at the end of your life, you should be able to remember me. Then how do I remember you? Suddenly I cannot remember you. Whomever I am serving constantly on a daily basis, only that person will come to my mind. So therefore he says, Kurvana yatra karmani, whatever work you are doing. So how to remember that? How to remember Krishna and serve? Next sloka also says. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi.
Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya.
Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya.
Namah Sankarshanaya Cha.
Namah Sankarshanaya Cha.
Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his plenary expansions Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Shankarshana. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Krishna expands as Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Sankarsha, Aniruddha. Either you chant 4 names together or chant only Vasudeva or Krishna, sufficient. Because they are all merely expansions. Iti murtya vidhanena.
Iti murtya vidhanena.
Mantra murti mamurtikam.
Mantra murti mamurtikam.
Yajate yajna purusham.
Yajate yajna purusham.
Sasamyak darshana puman.
Samyak darshana puman.
Thus, he is the actual seer. Thus, he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form. Hare Krishna.
The real worship is chanting his names. You see, for every yuga, every millennium, a particular process has been prescribed by the Shastras. Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum.
Kriteya Vishnum.
Tretayam vyajato makhaihi.
Tretayam vyajato makhaihi.
Dvapare paricharyayam.
Dvapare paricharyayam.
Kalau tad hari kirtanat.
Kalau tad hari kirtanat.
In Satya Yuga, meditation was the process. In Treta Yuga, fire sacrifice was the process. In Dwapara Yuga, temple worship is the process. And in Kali Yuga, only chanting his names. Easiest. That itself is difficult for us. So, the Shastra has recommended, don't foolishly go and meditate somewhere sitting nicely, close the eyes. Don't do that. You are wasting your time. You chant, that is the actual meditation for Kali Yuga. Imam swanigamam brahman.
Imam swanigamam brahman.
Avetyamadanushtitam.
Avetyamadanushtitam.
Adan me jnanam aishwaryam.
Adan me jnanam aishwaryam.
Swasmin bhavam cha keshavaha.
Swasmin bhavam cha keshavaha.
O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord, as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulences, and then with his intimate loving service. Hare Krishna.
See, all the 3 I got. First, Jnanam, transcendental knowledge about him, and secondly, spiritual opulences, details about him, and then finally, loving service unto him. All the 3 I got in this way. After saying this, now he is instructing Vyāsadeva. Tamapyadabhrashruta vishrutam vibho.
Samapya abhadra shruta vrishrutam vibho.
Samapyate yena vidambu bhutsitam.
Samapyate yena vidam vibhushitam.
Prakyahi dukkhair muhurarditatmanam.
Prakyahi dukkai muhurarditatmanam.
Sanklesha nirvana mushanti nanyatha.
Sanklesha क्लेश निर्वाणमुशन्ति नान्यथा.
Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Hare Krishna.
See, the solution for two categories of men. One is hankering after knowledge. One is hankering after sense enjoyment. Sense enjoyment hankering is called karmis. They are called jnanis. Both can be cured by speaking Bhagavatam. Because jnani, his hankering for knowledge will come to an end only when he has knowledge about Krishna. Until then he has to come again, search out. He has to come million times and he has to move the mouse and go to Google, search what is that ultimate, that Google, all he has to come million times. Then the moment he comes to Krishna consciousness, his knowledge, thirst for knowledge is quenched. Similarly, karmi, enjoying, but actually what? Dukkaihi muhurardita. He is actually tortured by miseries. He imagines that he is enjoying. Actually, he is tortured by miseries. Because you have one problem, somehow that is solved. You are very happy. Oh God, sir, I am glad, Baba. Next day, another phone call, another problem starts. Then again you solve that. Then, third problem. It is just like Western suburban train in Bombay. One train goes, another train enters the platform. It is happening everywhere for everyone. So, what we think as happiness is the period of absence of miseries between two distresses. If there is no problem today, means I am happy. That's how you are defining that. So there is nothing like happiness. So actually what is that? Miseries only. So ardita means pidita, atmanam, to those people. Sanklesha nirvanam cessation, sanklesham problems. Na anyatha, otherwise not possible. Whether it is a jnani or it is a karmi. The only way is you describe Krishna's activity and speak Bhagavatam everywhere. And that is why we have decided, next visit, wherever we go to your home, we will come with this paraphernalia. We will continue Bhagavatam only. No normal speech. If anybody wants to ask questions, they can ask questions. We will answer. Because this is the best medicine, which everybody is not in a position to give you. This chapter is over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.